What's up? I can't rap, but I'm about to tell you about the Monica the Map. Yeah, a bit of a random one. Universe King Atlas. Yeah, so I've been on a little bit of a kick, straying back into the recesses of the early 2000s for some good old, just big, brickish, solid, really quite nicely decoed weirdery. And King Atlas here just really kind of takes a top spot in terms of all that kind of field of stuff in my head. For a long time, this guy just existed as some kind of legend. It's just like this odd thing that I didn't really know anything about, but could still see wasn't a very good toy. From the old Energon packing product catalogues I ended up with like 20 million of. And each one of them had a picture of him in there, and I was like, "Ooh, who is this? Who is this stately figure? Who is this King Atlas?" And just the name and the vague look took on this association in my mind for years, where it's just like, that's just the thing that is only existing in myth. Because, of course, the Universe line never came out over here. Not until, like, Universe 2.0. Yeah, the proper old orange Universe 2003 stuff never turned up anywhere outside of America, did it? And so I never saw King Atlas. I never saw any of them. And yet I knew about them just from that one page in that little packing comic thing was enough to just make me think, I'm ever going to see these? What is this? And so to actually go and see one, or rather to look for it on eBay and find a relatively good price for one, was just like, oh yeah, I've got to get that. So what is King Atlas? First and foremost is a repaint of Skyquake, just without the sickeningly good light piping and the rad, just neon retina destroying deco. I still think he still looks pretty good. He's got the, dye Atlas thing going on really, hasn't he? Which is not really a surprise. All the yellow and the blue, I like that. The really Japanese super robot crest and the mouth plate and everything going on up the top, making him look a little bit Gundam along with all the white. I like the badges on his chest. It's a relatively good look, even if it's just a little bit static, but we'll get onto that in a moment. Who is King Atlas? Does he offer robot bodybuilding courses? If I had to say that name to you, would that be a character you know about? I don't think so, but 5 minutes on the wiki later and I can tell you that while this was originally meant to be a new figure for King Atlas in the West, because of course he was a Japanese, was he Zone? Is that the one he comes from? He's only ever in Japan. So this was going to be like Atlas's Western debut, and then some fiction came along and made him a Unicron trilogy character, which makes me like him a hell of a lot more. Yes, King Atlas, along with, well, residents of Combatron, the Apocalypse planet. And that's just like, mate, that's the best. Apparently there's going to be Apocalypse planet in Cybertron as one of the other ones that the cyber keys come from. And the logo for it is a mushroom cloud. Like, oh mate, okay, yeah, that's pretty good. I like that, yeah. You take a planet full of warlike robos, make it all a bit kind of Mad Max. That's cool, yeah. And all of that apparently happens because King Atlas is the leader and everyone looks up to him and he keeps everyone in check, and then he vanishes because like Unicron abducts him for a war where he's making people fight for their sweat, essentially. Isn't that what Universe is? Unicron's just there, pitting all these different Transformers from different continuities against each other, just so he can drink their sweat. That's what the CD-ROM told me anyway. Yeah, so King Atlas is gone and everyone just starts killing each other and everything goes to hell. And you can imagine if he came back, it'd be like that a bit from Community. As far as character goes, King Atlas is, well, pretty much exactly what you'd expect someone called King Atlas to be, a big stoic leader figure. And I think leader is pretty much an apt term. These days, this is the leader size. This is an old Ultra, but this is flipping massive. Nice and weighty, big solid chunk. And then of course, the big solid chunk side of that means he doesn't really do anything. His arms will do that, and they click nice. And he's got handholds for some tiny gun, I suppose the old Predator Super Destructo blinding children of the 90s launcher would have gone in there. And of course he hasn't got that, safety and everything. So really you're left with a robot mode that does nothing, but like mildly spreads his legs with this bracket in there to stop you going any further. he doesn't do knees, you know. Yeah, he transforms by flipping his legs, but the joints like down here, they don't count as knees. This is all he does. So really, you're left with nothing but a robot mode to just have stood there and enjoy the regal quality of its size and shape, and just, yeah, just kind of having there being big. Then you make him a jet and he's even bigger. This is so huge. It's bigger than like the leader Jetfire Seeker mold. It's huge, it's enormous. And to think that this would have just been, you know, what were Ultras back in the day, like 25 quid? Bloody Nora, this is just colossal. I honestly think this might be the biggest jet I've got. I don't know, don't quote me on that, because I'll probably dig out something and find that it's bigger, but this is just enormous, truly grandiose on a level which is just a little bit mental. This is also the mode that ends up doing a bit more and vaguely looking slightly more interesting. You've got all this airbrushing stuff all over the place. It just makes it look a bit weathered, a little bit worn. That's really cool. There's one thing you can say that the Universe stuff from the good old days did, and yeah, really just killing it in terms of deco stuff. All of this wash on the wings and everything. Ooh, wow, that's, yeah, good. But yeah, what does this jet do? Because beyond just being massive, it does do things within its huge hulk. You've got this little slider on the top here, and it opens up these like light pipey cherry red panels on the top, and the box says there, solar receptors! It's literally just a slide to let you see some vaguely more cool stuff in there, but you know, it's like, it's not really like a light piping gimmick because the light doesn't go anywhere because it's, you know, the top of the jet. I don't really understand this at all, but it's kind of cool. It's a big thing. It's like all these bits just suddenly whoosh, and you've got all this red under there that, if you can vaguely get to catching the light, looks kind of cool. But yeah, that's just, what is it? What kind of play value does that really serve? The next one is of course very much optical because he's got the old mega visor thing from Skyquake that you would look through, or, you know, plug something in here, but of course on Skyquake all this would be gold plastic, so you really wouldn't want to. Yeah, stick a Predator jet in there and fiddle with the periscope thing, and you'd be able to look through the slide and see like Rotor Storm being shot to pieces or something. But of course there's no analogous stuff in Universe, so as this gimmick goes, it's just more like you look through it and you can drop the bombs out of his wings a bit more easily. Well, not really more easily, but it's supposed to be like a bomb targeting scope. Because you look down there and you tilt the mirror around and it shows you what's underneath the jet, so it's kind of like you're seeing where the bombs get dropped. Which is vaguely cool. It's a big thing to kind of play with, I suppose, but we all know the real gimmick is the whole carpet bombing thing. Turn the dials on the wings, and from out of these little sections, which are painted like really nicely, it's all like kind of fiery, burnt, glowing stuff from in here, on a couple of the panels in there anyway, and the bombs fall out, and they're old Predator missiles, but of course they're a little bit safer because you haven't got a way to launch them into child's eyes anymore. They just fall out, and there's 3 in each bit, and that's kind of cool. It's like, you know, you can go whoosh along, you know, boom, 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 and lots of civilians die. I have got little ports on them, so you can just peg them into his wings for a bit of storage or a bit of extra decoration, if you like. And of course, once you do that, it doesn't make that annoying rattling noise that you've heard all the way through this video. Universe King Atlas then. It's not really got a lot going on beyond just sheer presence, but I think really that brings a lot to the table in terms of whether you like this figure or not. Because yeah, it's just so much of a unique look. It really just makes him feel at home with like other Unicorn Trilogy figures, other contemporary figures from his era. And I just really like that, of course I do. He's big and he's bold and he's solid and chunky, so he doesn't really do a lot, but I don't know, just in terms of being that oddity, in terms of being that thing that I've always kind of half wondered about for a very long time, I just feel like, yeah, he's definitely worth having, in my collection at least, when I'm perpetually enamoured with stuff from between 2001 and 2006. This guy certainly fills a big bit of that big void that exists in the whole Universe offering side of things, but I've just never even touched him. He just feels like a nice figurehead for all of that kind of lot. Just a criminal shame about his light piping. I shall see thee anon. I'm off to write to Hasbro to get him to make one that can actually pose like the picture on the box. Ah, good old Dreamwave art, eh?
It's a bit special.